After you watch this video, you are going to understand how simple it is to actually get rich quick. Now, I am not promising you that you will become a millionaire overnight because that is impossible. But what I am saying is that if you follow just a few things that I teach in this video, I promise you will be much faster to getting rich quick. And I know this because I've practiced this ever since I got fired from my last 9-to-5 job 8 years ago. Okay, so we often hear people say things like, I want to get rich, or I want to get wealthy, and I want to have a lot of money. But most people don't sit down and think about how rich people operate. If you want to get rich, you need to start thinking like a millionaire. You need to start thinking about how rich people actually operate, because I'm telling you right now, rich people operate very differently than the average Joe. Okay, so average Joe we have right here. Okay, and this is most of us. Most of us are average Joes because this is what we have been taught growing up. And millionaires are on this side right here. Now, I'll get to this in a little bit. So average Joes are taught to trade their time for money. So what this means is that you've probably been taught when you were growing up that you need to get good grades, get a job, and you get paid by the hour, okay? Like for example, most people get paid 9-to-5, right? Most people get paid 9-to-5 or 8-to-4, or maybe you work 10 hours per day. At the end of the day, you are trading your hours in exchange for money, okay? Or maybe you have like a flat salary every month. Whatever the case, you are still trading your own time for money. Now, keep in mind that everyone on planet Earth, including rich people, have 24 hours per day. I have 24 hours per day and you have 24 hours per day. But how is it that a rich person is able to make so much more money? How are they able to make millions of dollars per year? And what I am about to explain is simple for you to understand. Rich people, millionaires, I'm going to call them millionaires, they leverage other people's time. So they have other people, okay? They are using other people's time. So let's look at the average Joe. The average Joe is trading their time for money, and there are 24 hours per day. This is the clock that keeps on ticking, okay? We all know that time doesn't stop for nobody. So this guy over here only has 8 hours per day to make money, but this guy over here hired many people to create more time, because obviously if the rich want to make more money, they are going to hire more people to do it for them. Now, if there are 5 workers, for example, let's do 5 times 8, which means there are now 40 hours. Whereas the millionaires just created more time. They hired more people and now they created more time by leveraging other people's time. And now they have 40 working hours per day, where the average Joe still has only 8 hours, okay? So this guy is getting paid only 8 hours per day, but this guy, since he hired people, he's getting paid 40 hours per day. Now you may be thinking, oh, but Tamara, don't forget that the millionaire needs to pay staff. Yes, that is true. The millionaire needs to pay staff. But this is where the millionaires have their own businesses with customers that continue to pay them. And obviously they've worked out the math where if they were to hire staff and to pay them, at the end of the day, they still make more money than the average Joe. So yes, I am referring to rich people that have successful businesses. Okay? We are not talking about startup businesses. We are talking about established millionaires that have businesses already in place, and they know how to leverage other people's time to get rich. And that is very different than the average Joe, because the average Joe, when they want to make more money, the first thing they start to think about is, let's get another job. Let's get a second job. Or maybe I can work part-time on Saturday and Sunday. I just need to put in more hours. How many times have you heard that? If you were raised the traditional way and you were following society, then that is what they tell you. If you want to make more money, go get a second job, go get a part-time job, and let's add on more hours that get you stuck and not help you get rich. If you absolutely love the company that you work for, I think that is totally fair. That is very rare to come by because a lot of people don't like their jobs. But if you are lucky enough to love your 9 to 5, then what I suggest you to do is to start a small business on the side where you can leverage other people's time, because that is the only way how you can not get a part-time job, and that is the only way how you can eventually hire people to do the work for you so you can get paid more. So this leads me to the next topic on how to get rich quick. And that is, if you are an average Joe, then you will have this guy talking in your ear and talking shit to you every day. And this guy is called your boss. Okay. So traditionally, at one point in your life, you probably had a boss. I had a boss. You had a boss. I remember at my first job, I was working at a hair salon and I was in high school. I had a boss, and this guy kept bitching at me every weekend. I was working Saturday and Sunday because obviously I had school Monday to Friday. This guy would not stop bitching at me, and he is the boss. And society has made it normal for you to be told what to do. So when you were growing up, you were probably told what to do. You were either told by your parents what to do, or you were told by school teachers what to do, or maybe it's someone that you look up to who was an adult and they were telling you what to do. They act like your boss, whether it's in your personal life or professional life. There's always someone that acts like our boss in our lives. So we have been conditioned to think that we need to follow rules. In order to make money as an average Joe, we need to listen to those above us, and we need to be told what to do. And the moment that we do not have a boss and we are not told what to do, we act like lost puppies. This is what is wrong with most average Joes. The moment that they do not have a boss, so let's pretend that you lost your job tomorrow. Okay, I know that sounds bad, but let's just pretend that tomorrow you lost your job. You are now a lost puppy. You are probably thinking, oh my gosh, what do I do next? Oh my gosh, should I apply for another job? Should I get advice from my parents? Should I go back to school? You are a lost puppy. And this is what is holding you back from getting rich. This is because you were not taught to be a self-starter. You were not taught to be your own boss. Whereas the millionaires, the rich people, train themselves to be the boss, and they train themselves to be resourceful and to be a self-starter. So if I use myself over here, this is me. Okay, this is me. This is Tamara. I have a happy face. I have long hair, and here is my crown. Okay. I am technically the boss of my own companies, and I am also the boss of people that I hired. However, I hate the term boss. I don't like it when people are like, hey, boss, or how's it going, boss? Teach me something, boss. I don't like that term. I just think that since I am the CEO of my own company, I like to look at us as all equal. We are a team. And without my team, I don't exist, okay? Every rich person on earth knows how to build a team of people that can help them get rich. There is no such thing as succeeding alone. To be honest, if I didn't have people on my team, I would not be here teaching you any of this. So this is something that I personally went through myself. I had to become a self-starter and teach myself how to operate independently, how to leverage other people's time so I can make more money. Now, some of you may be thinking right now, but Tamara, I don't know how to become a CEO, or I don't know how to become my own boss. And to be honest, the only way how you are going to learn how to become your own boss and how to get rich quick is if you stop listening to this guy right here, the boss, okay? We all had a boss. I had a lot of bosses. I hated all my bosses. They did not respect me. They always thought very little of me. And it was until I had no boss, this guy was completely gone, and I was in the deep end. And that was when I thought, oh my gosh, I need to start thinking for myself. There is no boss. No one is going to come save me. What do I do? And that was when my creative mind started to get to work. I thought to myself, okay, what can I do on my own that can generate me some passive income so I can stop trading my time for money? And that is when I went on the internet and I started to learn how to sell my own products and services. If you want to get rich quick, you need to work for yourself. Again, if you have a job, I still recommend you to find something on the side where you can work for yourself, because that is where real growth starts to happen. That is when you find out so many things about yourself that you didn't even know that you were capable of doing. For example, I didn't know that I was capable of building an 8-figure business. If someone came up to me a few years ago when I was an average Joe and they said to me, "Hey, Tamara, you will have an 8-figure company," I would have laughed. I would have thought that is impossible. Like, what are you talking about? That is not me. I don't have the potential to do that. But it turns out that I did have the potential to do that. I just didn't know that existed because this guy kept bitching at me all those years. I was trapped at my 9 to 5 job with my shitty 9 to 5 mindset. I didn't know that it was possible to become a millionaire. And I knew nothing about building businesses or creating systems that was able to generate me consistent income. So the average Joe is always comfortable, okay? They believe in comfort. Whereas the millionaires like to take risk and they like to take action. If you want to get rich quick, you are going to have to take a lot of risk and take a lot of action. You need to get out of your comfort zone. I know that sounds hard to do. I know that feels uncomfortable. I know you're probably looking at me like, yeah, it's easy for you to say. But trust me when I say this, when you break out of your comfort zone, that is when you will realize that there is so much opportunity and so much potential for you to make money. You just don't see it yet because you've been so conditioned to being over on this side. Lastly, if you want to get rich quick, you need to stop saving money. So the average Joes were taught to save money in the bank. Okay, this is the bank. So growing up, you were taught that for every dollar that you make at your 9 to 5 job, if you wanted to buy something, if you wanted to buy a home, if you wanted to pay rent, if you wanted to buy a car, whatever it is, you need to save money in order to do that. You need to save all the money you can so you can accumulate more. Okay, have you been told that? Because I've been told that. I remember my parents saying, if you want to get rich, save money, put it in the bank. And that is the worst advice, because if you put your money in the bank, inflation is going to eat it up. This means you lose money, okay? If you have your money sitting in the bank and it's not going to work for you, you are losing money because of inflation. So holding onto your money is going to keep you poor. Now, don't get it twisted. Obviously, you need to save some money to put food on the table. Obviously, you need to save some money to pay your rent. For the necessities, yes, you should save some money so you can get by in your day-to-day life. But if you want to get rich quick, putting money in the bank is going to keep you poor. Instead, you need to learn how to invest your money so your money can go to work to make you more money. And that is what millionaires do. So for me, I am constantly trying to empty my bank account. Okay, so I have money in the bank and I am trying to get rid of it. I am trying to invest it into other things. And right now I am investing a lot of my money into real estate. Okay, so this is real estate. I am trying to get my money out of the bank so I can use that money and put it to work. I can put it to work in real estate. I can put it to work for other online business ventures. I can put it to work so I can hire more AI agents to make me more money. Whereas the average Joe is clenching onto their money so tightly. They think that leaving money in the bank or saving a lot of money will make them rich. But how is that possible when this guy is constantly trading their time for money and the money that they make is just sitting in the bank? Please, if you have some money laying around, you should be using that money and putting it to work. So one of the most important things that I learned from my mentors who are multimillionaires is that you should always invest your money into knowledge, okay? You should be constantly spending money to learn new skills, because learning new skills is what is going to make you rich. If you are a person with no value, no skills, no knowledge, what makes you think that you will get rich? You can't, you won't. Because in order to get rich, you need customers, right? You need people paying you for your products and services. And if you have no value, no skill, and you have no knowledge, then how do you expect people to trust you and to give you their money? Okay, so that is something you need to start thinking about if you are right here. This is not going to get you anywhere. This is going to get you very far. Holding on to your money in the bank is going to keep you poor. If you want to make more money, you are going to have to invest your money into other areas that you know will give you a return. And this is not going to be instant. It's not going to be overnight, right? None of us are overnight success stories. But if you start making small changes here and there, and you start operating in a different way, you will soon realize that there is so much potential and opportunity that you didn't even know existed. If you are someone that wants to learn how to make your first $1 million this year that requires no startup capital, then I want to invite you to a training that I put together. This is exactly what I did to make multiple seven figures online. The training is in the YouTube description below. So the key takeaway in this video, and if I had to choose anything that I talked about that will help you succeed and to help you get rich quick, it would be to pretend that this guy does not exist. Remember, this boss doesn't necessarily have to be someone that you work for. It can also be someone in your life that you look up to. It can be a parent, it can be an aunt or an uncle or your grandparents. It doesn't matter. But the less that we rely on people and the sooner we start to learn how to think for ourselves, the quicker you will learn how to get rich quick. You need to understand that nobody is going to come save you. This guy is not going to come save you. The boss is just giving you orders, giving you instructions. And the moment that you do not have a boss figure in your life, that is the moment you learn to stand on your own 2 feet. That is when you see how these guys operate, and that is what you need to apply if you want to get rich.